Peter, thank you for making this time to have a talk with me.
You're welcome, Irene.
Yeah, pleasure. First off, would you like to share a bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Peter. I'm originally from a small town in the Netherlands. I'm living in California. The picture behind me is from California. I've been working in high tech for biotech here for more than 25 years. I have a wife and three adult children, 2 daughters and a son. Oops. You can edit that out. That's about me.
All right. Yes. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, also about your family. We have recently completed the tribe program, Peter.
Yeah.
You were part of. How was your experience?
Very good. No, I get it. The reason why I wanted to do something to figure out, the certain questions I had. When I was young, my parents divorced when they were 19, which, divorces happen. It's just that after divorce, the family, my first family, fell apart. We all went our own way. We didn't resolve things in a proper way. And my brother moved to England, and then he came back to the Netherlands, and I eventually moved to the US. And we just kept on living our lives, and there were a lot of questions that I had from the past that I wasn't looking for a resolution, but I was looking for a way of getting it out of my head. And then, this was, I'd been thinking about this for years already. And then last year, my mother, 15 years ago, my father passed away. And then last year, my mother passed away. And that was, I think, the trigger for me to say, hey, now it's time to resolve this. Because, I perhaps in the back of my mind, I didn't want to do this when they were still alive, because then I felt a little guilty. Through an expats program, I came in contact with Irene, who was talking about, trauma and how to resolve trauma. And I thought, that I wanted to know more about it, how to resolve my trauma that I knew I had, but I didn't know exactly how to express it or how to deal with it. And then she explained to me about the tribe program, and it was a multi-week program with the tribe, so with other people. And I was certainly, in the beginning, I was very apprehensive about sharing my deeper thoughts with somebody else, and therapist, but also with other people, which I'm a very private person, which I don't like to do. But as I mentioned to Irene before, I'll jump into the deep end and we'll see where it ends. Sometimes you have to take your chances. And I'm glad I did, because, we went through 6 weeks of talking about different areas. Irene provided a certain amount of theory behind traumas and personalities, and what is driving people, what are traumas, what are some indications of things. So there was a certain amount of theory, and because I'm a logical thinking people, I like the theory and like to get some tools to resolve things. A big part was also talking with the other tribe members about, their traumas and about what they experience and about the things that bothers them. And so there's a lot of connection with the tribe members, which actually is a good thing, because you learn a lot from that, and just by listening and hearing other people's experiences, it was really revealing, and we just had I thought a really good tribe of different people with different experiences, but there was also a lot of overlap. And then Irene just provided a very safe and comfortable environment in which everybody was able to just express their emotions and their traumas.
Wow, thanks for sharing all that, Peter. Sounds like you have really overcome also a lot of resistance to jump into the deep end with us. You put some risk as well, like from being a private person, that you chose to share certain parts from your past, and also still affecting you at present. So there are a lot of theories, and you find that useful for your understanding, to put things in perspective. And also the sharing, especially that you kind of discover your own story in the stories of others. We also actually did some embodiment, creative movement.
That's right. Yeah. No, actually, regarding the sharing, I want to mention one thing about the sharing. One thing I really enjoyed too is after the sharing, after somebody shared their story, all the tribe members gave an acknowledgement, which was basically positive reinforcement of certain things that resonated with you, and that just gave a very positive feeling. There was no judgment, there was no questions or criticism. It was very supportive and encouraging. And then because the sessions are 2 hours, which is it's pretty intensive, and it's a certain amount of time. But then typically what Irene did halfway the session, she had regular breathing sessions which calmed people down, and but also she had dance movement sessions in which you just could free flow. She gave some instruction, but then you could free flow and just let yourself go and let your mind go, a type of meditation. And then you freed your mind to talk about things more after that. So I enjoyed that, actually. I enjoyed that, yes.
So from the movement and then to the sharing, like, do you notice like there's a connection between what's moving you and what you share?
Yeah, and perhaps not as much. To me, the movement was more kind of meditation, but kind of freeing my mind. I didn't have sometimes the connection to the sharing, but what it did, it made me calmer.
Right.
So it made me, and that's perhaps what you mean, but it made me calmer to better talk about stuff.
Yeah, I can imagine like talking about stuff like in the tribe, like it can also trigger some stress response, perhaps some anxious thoughts, and okay, is that what you experienced, that and then through the movement you could regulate those?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, and it's wonderful that you acknowledge our safe environment, Peter, that there's no judgment, and people are really affirming, supporting, acknowledging.
Yeah. No, and I think that's really important, because when people come to a session like this, that they're telling a story that's very personal. So it's really important that that can be done in a free, judge-free encouraging environment.
Mm.
And that's what you provided. Thank you very much.
Mm. And also what you and the other tribe members co-create, don't forget.
Sure. Yes. I definitely have to. I definitely have to thank my fellow tribe members. They were wonderful people, very encouraging.
How have you reflected, Peter, like you before and after the program? Would you like to share with us?
Yeah, I definitely need some more therapy. But what I notice in myself, before I started, I had a lot of why questions, why things happened in my life, and because I'm resolution oriented, I always try to resolve these why questions, and a lot of these why questions don't have answers anymore. So you have to learn to let them go. And I think after these 6 weeks, I'm much better about this now of letting go. Just let it go. It doesn't have an answer. Don't get angry about it. Don't get frustrated or whatever emotions you connect to these why questions. Just let it go. So I think the change in these 6 weeks is that I'm more aware of it, and because I'm more aware, I can better let go.
Yeah, and it sounds also, the awareness is not only about this process, but also you're more aware of the emotions that connect with it. And you are more
Correct.
able to regulate them to manage.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where would you like to go next, Peter?
Where would I like to go next? Of course, I have to make a joke. I would like to go to Machu Picchu next, but
that's also fine. All right. Let me be more.
Okay. So
where would you like to go next on your inner adventure?
Yeah. No, I know what you're asking. Sorry, you can edit it out, but I think what is next for me is a continuation of a similar tribal program to go a little bit deeper and get a little bit more in tune with the emotions or the causes of some of these emotional thoughts.
Yes. Peter, those were all my questions to you. Actually. Is there anything else you would like to share with the world out there?
The only thing, the last thing I would share is, I really appreciated the environment that Irene created, and I would encourage anyone to join her tribal sessions. It really helps. It helps you become a fuller person.
Yeah, fuller person. I don't
Fuller.
know if you finish your sentence, but I'm curious. What is a fuller person?
Fuller person. Yeah. What is a fuller person? I know you're always asking a lot of questions, which is good. Which actually, and that is actually a good thing for me because I know especially when you talk about your inner self, a lot. In my case, I have a wall, and sometimes by asking the right question, you have to break through the wall, and so that's a good one. But a fuller person is, a person that's more aware of your environment, your surroundings, the people around you, your emotions, your inner self, and be able to be happy with the now and your inner self.
Okay, that's a wonderful definition, and I'm happy to hear that's also where you're growing towards, to be a fuller person.
Yeah, and I think that's everybody's goal. Everybody wants to be happy, but how do you get to that place? And what is happiness? That's a very personal definition.
Definitely, yes. Yeah. Thank you so much, Peter, for
You're welcome,
sharing
Irene.
your your inner thoughts, and to allow us also to have a peek into your inner self. So thank you again.